Hello folks, we are halfway through the week. Congratulations to you. It is it's getting sunny. It's bit overcast. Typical early British summer, but we're getting there. If you like what I do, the subscribe button is down below. The Patreon button is also down below. And if you're going to get any models in the next few weeks, make sure you go and get over to Composite Games. Use the promo code Northern Exile down below to get 5% off at checkout. So, first of all, Hobby Nightmares time. You have two today that I've been reliably informed are pretty fun to read through, so we're going to get onto them in a minute. Hope you're all having a wonderful week. I thought I'd start Hobby Nightmares these days with a little truck, especially halfway through the week, of how things are going in the hobby. Just in general thoughts, so you can get like my general thoughts on how things are going. A lot of you that I've been seeing in the comments are very, very, very down on 10th edition. If you are down on 10th edition, please let me know in the comment section down below. Because one of my next videos will be your reaction to what's going on in 10th edition. Gauging the temperature of my own community to see, hey, are you guys hyped for it? Why? Are you guys not ready for it? You do not like it? Are you going to stay with 9th? Are you going to go back to 7th? I even saw somebody saying, screw this, I'm going back to 3rd the other day. So, why? Show me some reasons why. And in our next video, or a video next week maybe, we will be going over your opinions and seeing what in the hell is going on. I'll do a community post after this, by the way. So if you don't want to do it in the comments down here, do it on the community post. That'll be a much better way of doing it. Anyway, jumping in to our Hobby Nightmares. First is from Bobby. Hey, Naughty E. Hey, man. It's Bobby. This is a story I've wanted to tell for a while. And since you do touch on mental health issues, I think this is the place to tell it. I want to warn people, this is not a happy story. So there are going to be heavy subjects involved. Right, I don't think this is as heavy as the one we had yesterday, and there is a lighter one at the end of this, I've been reliably informed. So, I won't be leaving you on a downer, don't worry. A few years ago, I was dungeon mastering for a game. So basically this guy's playing Dungeons and Dragons as the DM, as the leader of the game. The storyteller, if you will. I like the word storyteller rather than DM. Right. It was a homebrew. Over the top and silly. But really fun. The players were Matt, Beth, Adam and Luke. We are all in our early to mid-20s at this point. Adam, Matt and Beth are long-time friends of mine. Adam is gay. Luke was also gay, which will make sense later on. They're not going to stop banging on the table, are they? We were setting up a D&D game, and Adam asked if Luke could come. Sorry. Juvenile. I know. We were setting up a D&D game, and Adam asked if Luke could come. Of course, we said, as Luke wanted to play a bard, and we didn't have one in the party. Adam told me that Luke was his boyfriend. However, they couldn't tell anyone. That's fine, not everyone's out of the closet, you know what I mean? Yeah, they couldn't tell anyone. As Luke came from a very devotee family of Christians. Oh, okay. Luke's family was still suffering from the satanic panic around D&D. Dude, the satanic panic was in the 70s. What's wrong with these people? So, he was forbidden to play the game. He was also gay, and it was difficult for him to see Adam at the best of times. So, I guess they were using the game as a way to see each other. That's fine. As long as it didn't ruin it for everyone else, it's fine. On our first session, Luke was polite, but quite quiet. But as the games went on, he started to come out of his shell, and was really fun to be around. Outside of the game, Matt, Beth, Adam, Luke, and me used to go out, and have a meal at Wetherspoons, and a drink or two. Yeah, Wetherspoons, for those of you who don't know, is a chain here in the UK. It's kind of like, I don't think there is an equivalent in the US. It's a chain of bars. They made a splash quite a while ago because they said they weren't putting football on TVs and they weren't playing any music in their pubs. As far as I know, they still don't play music, but it attracted a much older crowd and students, younger people who don't have much money, who want to get cheap beer and buy cheap food. Nothing wrong with that, but that's the kind of thing that they went for. Yeah, so it's a thing. It's an option in the UK. And some of their curries actually aren't too bad. Some of their food isn't too bad. Most of it I wouldn't. Well, most of it is like prison food, but some of it's quite nice. Adam bought Luke a model from Hero Forge. They make customized models, and they helped him paint it. The game went for over a year. Luke was a guitar player and an artist. And he even painted a watercolor picture of the characters. Dude, that's brilliant. There's nothing better for me when I'm running a D&D game or whatever I'm running role-playing wise, when other people take it upon themselves to do arty things about the campaign I'm running. Dude, it lights such a fire under me. If you ever want me to throw my heart and soul into your campaign, because I'm just like, I'm doing it normally, you know, but if you ever want me to really go for it, show me a picture that you made of your character, or a short story that you wrote of your character. Dude, I would be beside myself. I'd just throw myself into it at that point. What you need to know is DMs and storytellers, we are obsessive creative people. So if you can tap into that, dude, you've got such a powerful storytelling weapon on your side. So yeah, treat us well. As a birthday present, me, Matt, Beth, and Adam chipped in to get Luke a lute. He would then bring the lute to games and play songs. His favourite song was On the Road Again by Willie Nelson. Wow. Which he would play every time the party was travelling from one place to another. I mean, that kind of sounds cheesy as fuck, but I also really love it. Like, did you all hold hands? Like you're in a cart together. That's amazing, dude. I don't know. It warms the cockles of my heart. Anyway. It became the party anthem, unofficially. On the side, we would tell Luke's parents that the game would last 4 hours, but only play for 2, so Adam and Luke could have some time together alone. Oh, you guys are chads. You guys are fucking chads. Wow, this has gone really well. I don't know why we're... You know, this is great. Now for the depressing part. Okay, well, at least you're warning me. We had just finished a game where Luke had played On the Road Again, serenading the party into the next town, where a horde of orcs were pillaging. We decided to end the session there. Luke lived close to me, and he could walk home. Adam could drive, so offered him a lift. Luke said no, as Adam lived in the opposite direction, so he was going to walk home. Alright, fair enough. A few days later, I messaged our group asking when they would be next up for playing a game. Luke never answered. Oh no. Then I got a gut-wrenching message from Adam. Luke had been hit and killed by a drunk driver whilst walking home that night. Jesus Christ. Oh no. No, no, no. No, no, no. Ugh. This chills me because I heard the sirens later that night and I didn't know what they were for or that they were for Luke. We attended his funeral and during the reception the family played the songs Luke liked to play. On the Road Again came on. Me, Matt, Beth and Adam nearly broke down as the song meant more to us than anyone else could know, as it was the last song Luke ever sang. Adam turned to drink after that, and as that was his first serious relationship. He messaged me and saying he couldn't play anymore. Me, Matt and Beth did see him every now and then, but he was mostly drunk. It got to the point where we had to have a drink to stave off the shakes. The game ended, but me, Matt and Beth came up with an idea. Luke's character motivation was he was a musician with the goal of starting a band, as he was a bard. So me, Matt and Beth set about making a diorama using our models. I don't have a photo unfortunately, but it was one of Luke's model standing on a hill with a Slanesh demonette blowing a horn and an orc banging a drum from Warhammer, whilst the rest of the party fight off a horde of orcs. Adam is getting better. He has kicked the drink and still has the diorama, as far as I know. Sorry if this was very depressing. Love your channel, North. Whenever I paint, I put it on. Have more stories to come that are not as bleak as this one. Keep up the good work, Bobby. Well, it's important that you did that, man, because I think that was important for you. In all honesty, I think that was very important for you to get that off your chest. You know, So hopefully hearing that read out and hearing my reaction to it has got you a little bit. You really did get me there. I forgot that you said that it was depressing, like halfway through. So thanks for the warning that you didn't just hit us with that out the gate with the. But yeah, pass on my condolences if you can, and yeah, I hope he does all right. I mean, there's nothing you can do. I think you guys did the right thing. You were there for him when he needed you. But grief is something that's very personal, dude. It's not something that you can just, get someone to snap out of. Kind of like depression, really. So yeah, you did the right thing. You did the right thing, and I'm glad he's on the mend. Just make sure that when the time comes, you can get back into it again, and you're gonna be okay. I mean, he's gonna be feeling really shitty as well, because he offered that lift home, and he was turned down, and he just left it. You can just imagine what's going through his head. It's not his fault, by the way. I'm not saying that. It's 110% not his fault, not Adam's fault, right? 110%. You offered the lift home, you said no, because you live in the opposite direction. You're not to know these things. You're not omnipotent, right? So yeah, it's not really a salve on the wound, but that's my opinion anyway. You can pass it on if you want. Okay, so Josh says, "Hello, North. I've run into a bit of a conundrum and would appreciate an outside perspective and opinion on how to handle this problem." Okay. "I'd like to preface this with the fact that I'm apparently the acceptable kind of asshole, and though US English is my primary language, I'm not that good at it." Okay. "Anyhow, about 2 to 3 years ago, myself, my cousin, who we will call Wandon, a co-worker, who we will call Arsenic, and another co-worker, who we will call Egg, decided to start a small game group at my residence for Magic the Gathering, as well as Starfinder." Okay. "In the beginning, Egg was the only one mildly cheating with lies about how his cards worked, or his life totals for Magic the Gathering Modern. And for Starfinder, we had him as a DM, which was definitely a mistake." Okay. "For the Starfinder game, we each had to learn to play, which was fine essentially in the beginning. He tried making it into a Pathfinder crossover after failing to give us visuals and such, which he was asked to do, along with failing to provide all situational information about locations and actions." Okay. Wait, so he's just sitting there like he's a computer running a game? You are in a box. You are in a room that looks like a box. He's not doing any sort of description at all. If I was in a game like that and the DM was that bad, I would feel really terrible, but I would just stop it and say, "Look, I would never normally do this, right? This isn't how you DM. If you were DMing in your own way, I would leave you to it and I'd get on with it and it wouldn't bother me at all, right? But this literally isn't how you got to tell a story. Do you want me to do it?" Do you know what I mean? Like this is the only time I'd probably try and take over, is this time. Because at that point you're literally not even playing a role-playing game. You're just sitting there having this stuff dryly thrown at you. I mean, if there are campaign packs, get one of them. If you can't DM, the best way to do it, go and buy a campaign pack, like Ravenloft or something like that, and run that. Run that. There are loads of resources out there as well. If you want to take Ravenloft or another campaign like it, a really famous one, and twist it in your own way to do your own thing, there are tons of ways you can do that. Anyway. Alright. As it was obvious we weren't into the Starfinder game, and insinuated a house rule that 3 missed game nights, which weren't exactly tolerable, within 6 months, equaled to a booting from the group. Okay. Egg left the group after a while of his own volition, for roughly 3 months. We were meeting every Sunday before then. We added a few members during his absence, which, due to minor conflicts, ended up leaving the group amicably, which put us down to 4 people again. We started bi-weekly after that, then once a month, and bounced back to bi-weekly game nights. We moved into Magic the Gathering's Commander, which was fun to adapt to playing. As we started Commander, the cheating from Egg was happening in every game, and not exactly horrible, but not exactly tolerable either. During the time he had left the group, I was made into the Starfinder GM, with no experience in doing such beforehand. You can't do much worse, mate, to be fair. Let me just cover that again. Beforehand, and though I think I did tolerably enough, I will fully acknowledge we didn't play it as it should be played due to my incompetence as a GM. I had to start a new continued campaign for Egg, for when Egg returned, so he could start with everybody else, and unfortunately, complaints came in from several members of the group, which I ultimately handled as best I could for each issue. My younger sibling joined and disliked Arsenic, as well as playing the game seriously. Okay. Egg claimed his dwarf, so Egg is back now. Okay. So, here's the thing, right? Whenever you're writing Hobby Nightmares, you need to explain what's happening so I can follow along more coherently. Because this is like, this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and you know, it's like, okay, just, you know, explain. Egg is now back in the game. Egg claimed his Dwarven Cleric / Shoulder thingy could wear several suits of armor, as well as a bunch of other BS. A few minor examples being reflection of boss damage back at the boss, at twice the total damage, ignoring damage entirely, magically being immune to nearly anything, doing 10 times the damage of 7 other players put together, while the same level as all of them, and not properly explaining how any of his character's abilities truly worked. Dude, why are you taking this? And there are some stories that I read where I'm just like, alright, if you let this happen at your table, you kind of deserve everything you get. I know it sounds really harsh. It sounds really harsh, really wrong, but I'm being serious. If you let somebody this bad get away with this much, you deserve what you get. Alright? You're getting what you deserve, man. I'm really sorry. And I really applaud anybody who steps into the shoes of a DM. But there comes a point, like 10 weeks ago in this story, where you should have said, listen, Egg, yeah, mate, that's not how the rules work. I've got the rules here in front of me, and I don't want people cheating at my table. If you're not cheating, and you've somehow magicked those rules up from another source somewhere, please don't use them. We will spend our session, the rest of our session, remaking your character. If you don't like that, then leave. Simple as. As he's a cheater, he won't like being called out, he sounds like a narcissist, he will leave. And then you can get on with the game with everybody else. Okay. So, Egg can read a sentence and get somehow an entirely different opinion paragraph from it. Arsenic had boundaries and respect issues to work on. Wanden was simply a dumbass and took half of an hour to make a 2-minute decision. I tried making custom monsters and minimizing XP, as well as rare loot drops, but large credit totals to balance out, as well as 2 sessions in an area that cancels out all cleric powers, just to compensate for Egg. Dude, stop the game. Stop the game. If you're a DM and you're not having fun, stop the game. Stop it. Right? Examine why you're not having fun and solve those issues. You are the heart and soul of the game. You are the thing that's running. Without you, there is no world, there is no game, there is nothing to do. So, if you're not having a good time, this can't work. It's like your computer, like your laptop. If the CPU chip isn't working in the laptop doesn't switch on. So that is the most important component of your laptop, right? It's probably one of the most hardest things to replace as well in your laptop, right? So, that's you. And if that's not working, the game doesn't fucking work. And we need more DMs to sit back, take note, because I get a lot of these stories. Sit back, take note. If you're not having fun, stop the game and examine why you're not having fun, and go out and make sure that that's, corrected. Are there bad DMs out there? Of course there are. There are loads of bad DMs. I'm talking about the vast majority of DMs who play the game in good faith and want everybody to have a good time. If you're one of those people and you're not having fun in a game, stop, stand back, and examine why you're not having fun. Alright. We quit playing Starfinder, due mostly to Egg. Yeah, no wonder, mate. No wonder. The group started to get stagnant, so I caved and suggested 40k, as Egg as well as Arsenic are 40k lore fans. I don't want to say big surprise there, because I love 40k lore and I love 40k, but yeah, they probably fit in quite well with a large section of the community. We started via 9th edition and have only used codexes this entire time so far. They hyped Necrons and Tyranids for myself, as well as Wandon, sorry. Egg went with Space Marines. Arsenic with Astra Militarum. They intended to work against myself along with Wandon before any of us knew how to play. They talked about team-up bonuses they'd get whilst we get none and things like that. I shut that down as it was BS, and I refused to drop a significant chunk of money for them to power trip like children with cheat codes. Good lad. Good lad. Finally. Stand up for yourself, dude. It's getting a bit... it's getting a bit ridiculous. We started trying with a Crusade, so a Crusade game, which sadly ended poorly. So a Crusade campaign! Dude, you're doing all the right things. It's being fucking ruined by your arsehole friends. Egg cheated semi-heavy in the beginning. Yeah, I mean, why are you surprised? Why is this guy still playing with you? Lied about dice rolls, taking a bike unit to fight somehow through 30 units, each time with over 72 attacks, 2 to 12 grenades, nearly impossible to wound, etc., etc. Dude, come on now. Come on. Come on. Do I need to read the rest of this? I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, because this is getting right up my nose. So cheating is going on in 40k, right? Okay, moving on. We have trays now for each of us to use for dice rolls, which Egg would leave his dice in to switch out specific dice that he wanted. Dude! So even when you introduce something that's supposed to stop the cheating, he, in front of you, does a workaround. Somehow always having 5s and 6s till turn 3, when he gets tired in turn 3, the dice rolls drop to nearly all 2s and 4s. Oh, for fuck's sake. My God. My God. Okay. His avatar's somehow half damage rounded down to 0, though. His codex itself says rounded up. Somehow explosion abilities on death has a resurrection mechanic not referenced in the ability line. I jokingly told Wandon I'd allow him to fudge dice rolls when he rolled poorly an entire game, which led to Egg now watching his dice tray. We have rules about reading from the codexes which now Egg won't read aloud more than specific bits. Dude, get this guy out of your group. Because now he's changed Eldar now. Okay, that's something that was in the previous bit. So he's changed Eldar, and now he's making up rules for his Avatar of Cain. If you're going to make up rules for a fucking model in the Eldar Codex, why don't make it the most recognizable stat line in the Eldar fucking Codex, right? Anybody who's played this game for more than 5 years will tell you you're talking bullshit. In fact, dude, why are you... Does this guy have something on you? Does he have something on you? Does he have, like, pictures of you in a precarious situation or something? What is going on? Okay. I mean... I can't read anymore. This is just more and more examples of this guy cheating. Dude, get this guy out of your fucking group. Okay? Get this guy out of your group. Why? This isn't a question. This is not a question. This is an absolute, unless he has something on you, or he's related to you, or he's a big part of how you play the hobby, or he saved your life in the past, get him out your group, dude. Get him gone. Get him out of there. You need him gone. We only have so much time to play hobby. I cannot believe you're spending so much of your time fucking around with a guy like this. Okay? The minute anybody cheats in a game with me, I stop the game and I never play with them again. I don't care if you're my brother. I don't care if you're my mother. The minute you cheat with me in 40k, doing something that I only have a certain amount of free time to do, I leave. I stop. I stand back, say, I don't play with cheats, sorry, and I walk away. I've done it more than once, where I just walk away from the table, right? I'm done. You're making up rules, you're being a dick, I'm leaving, I'm not doing this anymore, right? Loads of times. I even have very short patience for if I lay out, like, the game that I want to play, so I say, hey, I want to play a narrative game where we're both trying to, get this, this relic in the middle of the table, right? I want to do a really big narrative game. Here's the story of the narrative game, and here's the kind of units I want on the tabletop, because this is a part of the story where, you know, Marines and traitor Marines are slogging through the mud, right? I've done things like that before for people who wanted to try a narrative game, only for them to turn around and bring, like, 8 defilers. And I'm like, dude, not only can I not kill the defilers because I've got all infantry with no heavy weapons, because I wanted this to be a bolter fight. And they're like, well, it's not cheating. Yes, it is. Because I've told you the parameters of the fucking game, and you've ignored them. To play your own game because you're desperate to win. So yes, you are cheating. I'm sorry. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Right? I've done that so many times with people. If you get a brief for the game that's going to be played, and you know it's a narrative game, it's not a serious, you know, you're not playing for blood, you're just trying to see what happens in this story together, that's when you just acquiesce to what's going on. If you don't want to play narrative games, go elsewhere and play a game for blood with somebody, no problem. I could even play a game for blood with you, and really take a powerful list, but I don't do that sometimes because I want to play a narrative game. Listen to your brief and play the opponent. That's the whole point of 40k. You are playing your opponent. You're not playing the game. Do you know what I mean? The most important part of 40k is choosing who you're playing with. It's not the rules. It's not the meta. Not the models. It's choosing who you're spending your free time with. This is so important. And dude, I'm telling you now, this egg needs to go. It needs to fucking go. Or you, Josh, need to take your models and go somewhere else. You clearly want to play fair narrative-based games. You're a DM, you like stories, cool. Me and you are kindred spirits in that regard. I could not put up with a douchebag like this, right? It's really pissed me off, which is why I didn't read the last bit there, because I can't read about him cheating anymore, because he's getting away with things that nobody should fucking get away with, okay? So, please get him out your group, or get yourself gone, and get yourself with people who actually appreciate the skills that you have as a storyteller, and somebody who wants to make sure that everybody at the table has fun, okay? That's my advice. Choose who you spend your free time with, guys, very, very wisely, okay? Alright, I love you all long time. I'll be back towards the end of the week, hopefully talking about your opinions on what you think of 10th edition so far, what your fears are going forward, what you're hoping for, and I'm trying to get some answers back towards on the Games Workshop Manager group and on the Hobby Manager group to questions about how Games Workshop treat their hobby stores. That may be this week. It may be early next week. It'll be either Thursday tomorrow or Tuesday next week. Those are the two options that are going to be for that video. So, love you all a long time. Speak to you very, very, very soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you then. Have a good one. Bye.